Welcome to another Longwood Basketball Insider. I'm Greg Prouty, along with the head coach of the Lancers, Mike Gillian. Coach, welcome again.
Thank you, Greg. As always, a pleasure.
Coach, two more Big South Conference games this past week. Last Wednesday night, Campbell University here in town, fellow North Division opponent, preseason pick in the North Division. Pretty good game last week, tied up at halftime, 1 point game with under 4 minutes to play, and just not quite enough there at the end of the game, and a close loss to the Camels.
Yeah, Greg, we've been in that position twice now. The Coastal game, 2 point game, 1 point game with just under 4 minutes to go. You're in the last 4 minutes. The game really is just beginning at that point in time. The Campbell game, same situation. We just did not make enough plays in the last couple minutes of those games. We've done some good things. We've put ourselves in position to be successful against what everybody thinks are the best teams in the Big South Conference, Coastal Carolina, and in our group, Campbell in the North Division, the preseason pick. Good to be at home, but just not made enough plays to get over the hump and get that first conference win.
And Coach, Saturday, Charleston Southern comes to town. The game that was on ESPN3, the BB&T Big South Game of the Week, and Charleston Southern, the preseason pick in the South Division, and a very good team that come in here, 19 wins a year ago, I believe, for the Buccaneers, and took an early lead just at the very beginning of the game, made a couple three-point field goals up 6-2, and then Charleston Southern opened up a 12-point lead at halftime, stretched it out the second half, and then we made a run there at the end of the game. Final score was 72-62.
Yeah, one of the things that's happened for us, Greg, and we've talked about this a bunch, we had 3 home games, which is great to open the Big South Conference play, against teams that are picked to be the 3 of basically the top 4 teams in the league. And if you want to be at the top of anything, it doesn't really matter whether we're talking about our program, men's basketball, any other sports, business, sales. You have to measure yourself against the very best. Those teams have proven to be the best teams in this league. They weren't picked there for no reason. And I think we measured ourselves fairly well. We really, Charleston Southern deserves a lot of credit. They controlled the tempo of that game Saturday afternoon. We actually, in looking back, played a little better defensively than we did against Coastal and Campbell. It maybe didn't appear that way because Saw Nimley pretty much had control of the game, but we did. And we didn't play as well offensively as we had in the Coastal and Campbell games. So on one side, we improved a bit, and on the other side, we somewhat regressed. We turned the ball over a bunch. That took away scoring opportunities for us, some transition opportunities, some mistakes that we had made earlier in the year that we had cleaned up a little bit. And on offense, we just didn't run as efficiently and as productively as we had in the previous 2 home games. The combination of those things put us behind and allowed Charleston Southern really to dictate and control the tempo of the game. We never really were able to put them under duress or put ourselves in a position to be successful as we had done against Coastal and Campbell. And as we've talked about, there's a maturation process and all that, and we need to accelerate that as quickly as possible to get into that win column. We're doing the work. We've been right there. I think this group just needs to experience that now, be able to latch on and grab onto it and carry that forward. It's something that we've not had happen yet.
Coach, 3 games into the Big South schedule, obviously not where you want to be record-wise, 0-3 in those 3 games, but against arguably 3 of the better teams in the league like you've discussed, and an 8-point loss to Coastal Carolina, 10-point game to Campbell, 13-point game to Charleston Southern. Where are your guys at in their development? A guy like Nick Brown, who's starting to play very well here of late. He had 18 points again on Saturday. He's limited his turnovers. He's taking care of basketball, making his free throws, hitting some 3-point shots for you.
The big thing for this group is now we understand that we can play well. And we can play well for a period of time. And we've done that. And again, put ourselves in position to be successful. When you put yourself in that position, what do you do with that then? Well, you're in the last 4 minutes of the game. The intensity is heightened, and it becomes like it was maybe against the Creightons and Arkansas because the game is going so fast. You got to slow down and play a little better in those last 4 minutes of the game. And we need for guys to do that consistently now. And we need not just 1 or 2 guys, but 3 or 4 to do that consistently. For us, the challenge is going to be, we have now, you mentioned Nick Brown, he's played a little better. Well, other guys don't play so well. Or if Nick has a bad game, other guys play a little better. Well, we need that balance to occur. And we're working toward achieving that. I think everybody understands that. And I know that we're going to get there. Again, we'd like to accelerate that to be sooner rather than later. But we have a talented group. We have high character kids. And we're on that path. I'm convinced of that.
Coach, talk briefly about a guy like Tristan Carey, junior leader of the team, capable of doing a lot of different things during a game. He's done it at points this year, like you've discussed in the past, just not been consistent every night out. Need him to really step up over the rest of the schedule this year.
Yeah, we do, and we have to search for ways to help him accomplish that, whether that might be playing a fewer minutes during the course of the game to give that energy that you need, whether that might be changing the matchup during the game a little bit for him to be able to benefit from that, so to speak. But it's something that this thing and the way the message is delivered is consistent. We need to be more consistent, and the guys need to be more consistent. I need to be more consistent with them. We need to be more consistent in our performance. I was asked the other day, and it's a valid question after the game, what do we do to turn the season around? I never view it as turning a season around. We need to play better, and we need to continue to get better, and we need to have that experience, the positive result experience occur in order to take that, embrace it, and move forward with it. And to get to that, we need Tristan Carey to understand what it takes to do that. We need Nick Brown to understand that, David Robinson, Mike Kessens, Carl Ziegler, Lucas Woodhouse, on down the line. Then for everybody to do that collectively to get to what we want to get to, which is into that win column, obviously.
Coach, 2 more chances to do that starting this week. Wednesday night, first Big South road game at Radford, 7 o'clock game down there at Radford this Wednesday night. And then on Saturday, we'll travel down to North Carolina to play UNC-Asheville. Last year, or the 2-time regular season champions in the Big South, won the tournament last year. Or last 2 years they've won the tournament, actually been to the NCAA tournament as well. Talk about playing those 2 programs and how we should match up with them.
Well, once again, I think we've learned to this point that top to bottom, this is going to be a very balanced league. You're going to have a great competition on a nightly basis. There's not one team that you can look at and say, they are clearly going to beat everybody. They're going to dominate everyone. So we're going to each game understanding what the other team's going to do, what the matchups are going to be. First of all, I think Radford is somewhat like us, the 2 similar programs. Obviously, we're going on the road for the first time, so that presents a different challenge, but we've had plenty of road game experience this year. They're playing some guys that are, for the first time, getting playing a significant role for their team in order for their team to be successful. And we go down to Asheville. They have unbelievable experience over the course of the last 2 years, but they did lose the best backcourt in the Big South that had played 4 years together. So you have guys stepping into new roles for them as well. But a lot of guys on that team that have experienced success and know what that feels like. So presents new challenges, and it's one at a time. Let's get ready for Radford. We have Monday and Tuesday here to get ready for that, and look forward to Wednesday night. Quickly,
Coach, a lot of games yet to play this year, but through the first 3 games in the Big South, VMI and Campbell both 3-0 in the North Division, and in the South Division, Charleston Southern 3-0. Everybody else has a loss or 2 in their divisions. Is the conference kind of started off the way you thought it might?
Either of those teams or any of those teams could be 2-1, 1-2. So they're going to absorb their share of losses throughout the course of the season, and the teams that are 1-2, or like us, we haven't won a game yet, are going to have our share of successes. It's going to be very balanced. I think the league will go right down to the last week to see what the seeding is going to be for the tournament, and it's what I expected it to be. It's going to be a great league race.
Coach, let's get our first Big South win and make it be on the road at Radford Wednesday night. Good luck.
Thanks. There's only one first time. We've had the first home game. We've had the ESPN3 game, but we've not had that first win yet. And I've told the guys, be ready, because the only message I'm preparing to deliver to them is the one of celebration. That's the one they're getting next. And let's get that Wednesday night. It'd be a great feeling for everybody.
Coach, thanks again, and we appreciate you joining us this week. We'll see you again next week.